me something new. The past, most of the time, brings me down, and my future won't exist without living now. So I spread all my footprints around, yeah. I know that every day will always bring me something new.
Huntington Beach State Park is located on the coast of South Carolina, in between Myrtle Beach and Charleston area. The state park is split into two different campgrounds, the larger North Campground and then the smaller South Campground. Both campgrounds have their own beach access. However, in between is where the main beach access is located, and also the Atalaya castle as well. And then the South Campground is smaller with one street. Once you get to the park and go through the front gate, you will actually have to drive over a fairly long causeway to get over to the actual campground and park area. It's obviously very cloudy and wet here as we're arriving, but it's actually a very nice and pretty drive getting in there. And as you can see here, it was plenty of rain as we got there, but it was very beautiful the next morning when we got up. We did see several alligators along the causeway while we were there. A couple of big ones here hanging out on the edge of the road. Our site was located here in the South Campground, which consists of just one street that runs parallel with the beach. And of course, it does have several beach access points. where you can walk through the dunes and out onto the beach. The Atalaya Castle is right there between the South Beach and also the main beach access. We did take a self-guided tour of the Atalaya Castle, and it's quite interesting, actually. The castle was built by Archer Huntington and his wife Anna back between 1931 and 1933. Archer, he was a philanthropist from New York City, and he designed the house there to be a winter residence for him and his wife, and this was after she was diagnosed with tuberculosis. The castle has 30 rooms laid out around three sides of the courtyard. And in the center of that courtyard, there's a water tower that's about 40 feet tall. Interestingly, the castle was actually named after this water tower because Atalaya means watchtower in Spanish. During World War II, the Huntingtons left Atalaya and actually let the United States Air Corps use it as barracks. The men patrolled the beach and operated a radar unit from the house there. Other than a crashed plane on the beach, the house was unaffected. In 1946, the Huntingtons returned back to Atalaya and lived there until the death of Archer, which was in 1955. So then in 1960, the 2,500-acre estate was actually turned over to South Carolina to become Huntington Beach State Park. So we were having so much fun here at Huntington Beach State Park that we decided to extend our stay another night or two. So in order to do that, we had to move to the North Campground. The North Campground is quite a bit larger than the South Campground. Now, I may have failed to mention that all the sites at the South Campground are full hookups, but the North Campground, there's only a few select full hookups available there. But of course, they do have a dump station right there at the entrance to the North Campground. The North Campground also has several beach access points with some very nice nature trails that will lead you through some wooded areas and through the marsh and over the dunes out to the beach. We took several excursions while we were here, and one of those little trips was down to Georgetown to the historic waterfront area there. We enjoyed walking along the waterfront here on what they call the Harbor Walk. We also had a wonderful lunch at one of the local restaurants, and we also went into a local museum and learned some of the history of Georgetown. Another place we visited was the Conway Riverwalk in Conway, South Carolina. This is basically another boardwalk. This one goes along the river there. And another really neat place to visit would be the Marsh Walk at Murrells Inlet. It's just a short distance from Huntington Beach State Park. If you're looking for some good food, this is definitely the place to come. There's no shortage of options here. We decided to eat lunch here at the Wicked Tuna, and it was delicious. So, I would definitely say that Huntington Beach State Park is one of our favorites. This is one that we definitely will be coming back to, and certainly would recommend it. And as always, friends, remember to choose your adventures. And if you can, do it now, don't wait. You won't regret it. If you enjoyed this video, would you please give it a thumbs up? And while you're at it, go ahead and click the subscribe button and ring that bell so you'll be notified of all future videos. Take care, and we'll see you next time.